Hi, everyone. Welcome to my series, Finesse and Flair. Today, I have the super multi-talented Shekhar Vijayan. A very, very warm welcome, Shekhar.
Thank you. Thanks, Bia.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't know where to begin from because your profile is just, there is so much. You're an actor, you're a motivational speaker, you're an author, you're a comedian, you run your own company, you're a TV columnist. I mean, the list is endless. There is so much that you do. So we are going to get to know you much, much better through this course of this interview. But first of all, I'd like to really, really thank you for taking out time and coming on my show. Thank you ever so much.
Thanks, Bia. Anything for Milo.
Thank you. Thank you. And of course, we shall be talking about sunshine as well.
Yes, of course.
So, Shekhar, let's start with your childhood. Now, I got to know that you are from MSM Delhi Cant. You studied from MSM Delhi Cant. What a small world, because I lived in Delhi Cant for 15 years of my life. So
Wow.
tell me something about your childhood.
So MSM Delhi Cant, which you know is a boys' school, and
Yes.
very obviously you cannot have long hair like this when you're in school. And we used to start our day with this, with the prayer, with our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be the name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. ऐसे लग रहा था जंग के ले जाना rather than going to school. I really felt at that point of time. But I think that school experience, when you study in a boys' school, the culture is very different.
Right.
You become chivalrous. You have a girls' school right opposite you, and strangely, all the brothers in our school, all the principals, they made us look at the girls' school like a sister school.
Like a sister school, yeah. I went to a girls' school, so I know exactly how it is.
Almost felt like Game of Thrones revisited in some other form, because you couldn't do anything, and the only way you could interact with them was through socials. And at that point in time, things were very different in Delhi. So I think Delhi was a great experience, but I spent almost around 20 years in Bangalore. I've been in Bangalore since 2000, and now this is 2021. So 21 years, you can say.
Wow.
And, so obviously Delhi's been a different experience. Bangalore's been a different experience. Delhi was all about schooling and college. College, I did from Delhi University South Campus, Venkateshwara College. It was a very, very simple college. North Campus ka hai, and then you had this ARSD college right next door. So we used to name and say, "Hum ARSD se," but we from Venki. So Gaurav Kapoor was there from my college, and KK Menon, KK the singer, he was also by the way.
Yeah. I was in JMC, so I was not very far away from you.
Yeah, JMC. Oh yes, JMC, Jesus and Mary College.
Jesus and Mary College. Yes.
And JMC had the Taj right next door, which had these afternoon socials.
Yeah. Oh my God, my kind of place. I remember that.
My kind of place. MKOP we used to call it.
MKOP, yes.
And then used to go to Narula's, and so those were the days in Delhi. And I think Delhi had its own heart. But my father was the president of Ambuja Cement.
Okay.
And which has headquarters in Mohali.
Yes.
And so we lived a very good life. Like I felt our life in Delhi was like the Chandragupta period. Like every weekend, going to a hotel, eating out, and entertaining people. And we had relatives coming in from Kerala, take them to Agra, Taj Mahal,
nice.
the works. And one fine day he said, "I'm going to retire." And this was a year before he's going to retire. So he was very pakka in terms of his words. एक बार like Salman Khan, एक बार कह दे तो कह दिया बस. Anything else. And I look, fine, you're living a good life in Delhi. You're living it up, college life, school life. You got a bike, and you're doing what you're supposed to do in college.
Right.
Scared, boss. He's going to leave in money. What am I going to do? And I didn't want to work in this company. I didn't nepotism alert. So I said, boss, काम तो करेंगे नहीं दिल्ली में जो भी हो, अपने आप करेंगे जो करना है. I said, let me look out for a job in Bangalore, because I had done a computer course from Tata Infotech, and I had done my MCSD, Microsoft Certified Solution Developer. It's a very jazzy certificate and all. I cracked the exams, but I didn't apply it anywhere, even though I applied in my first job.
Sounds very technical, very technical.
It sounds very cool. Yeah. And supposedly at that point in time, if you were a MCSD certificate holder and you had an engineering degree, you could travel abroad. You could go to Australia, London, or wherever you want to go. But my mom was not very keen that I should travel, and I ended up coming to India ka London, which was Bangalore. And that time Bangalore was picking up as an IT city,
Right.
99 December, when the Y2K revolution had just happened, and people had
almost
like what we're having right now, a pandemic, but this was an information pandemic. where nobody knew what's going to happen in 2000. And I was employed in this company, in this bank, and I got my first taste of what a Indian boss is like. Indian bosses have a language of a sailor, and they treat you like shit. And I'm coming from Delhi, and I'm staying in Bangalore. I'm like, this is a ऊपर से नीचे हो गया बिल्कुल.
Bilkul,
It's going to happen.
absolutely.
And that's one lesson I realized very early in life. You should speak up when you feel something is wrong. So there was a skip level meeting we had with the boss who had come in from Bombay, who was my boss. He said, "Is everything fine?" I said, "No, everything is not fine. I don't like the way the boss talks to all of us. Especially, he uses all kinds of language. And we have heard colorful language. When you come from Delhi, you
Come from Delhi, of course, you're used to it.
used to it. But Bangalore was a different scene altogether. And that's
Right.
one lesson I learned, to speak up. Then I joined a call center. I worked for this company called Dell. Dell was handling operations in India for the first time. From Dell, I moved to Convergys. From Convergys, I moved to HP. And from
Wow.
HP, I moved to Accenture. And then one fine day I realized was, I can't be doing this all my life, because all, HP, Accenture.
You'd been all everywhere.
Yeah. But the same template, like I felt, I don't know, I didn't feel it comfortable to work in such an atmosphere where you're just making a PowerPoint presentation, you're meeting all kinds of people, but kuch ho nahi raha life mein. And for somebody like me who's so full of energy, and I feel my communication skills are really good, and I can connect with people and everything around it, because that's what my wife tells me, that she very rarely compliments me, but when she compliments me, she ideally take it with both hands.
Seriously.
She says, Shekhar's got a superpower. I said, wow, I didn't know I could fly. She said, he can make people fly. I said, good. I must have been a pilot there. And my mother-in-law still thinks I'm a licensed officer. She doesn't know what I really do. So all this introduction you gave me, she still thinks Shekhar sells insurance for a living because of the things Shekhar does, like acting karta hai kabhi, he's coming on videos and various things around it. And but this entire experience of doing what I'm doing right now, I cannot even bracket it as something which is something which I specifically do, because I enjoy everything what I do. And I felt, after leaving Accenture and doing what I'm doing right now, why should you compromise on being good when you can be great? I believe.
Absolutely.
And if you do a good job with what you have, because everybody else out there, I think, is just doing good. Like, people are working in the IT sector. I've got a lot of friends who used to work with me and said, my God, you took a leap of faith. I also want to do this. They left the job for 1 month. 1 month ke baad, they had to go back and do what they had to do. Because this job is not just about the successes. It's also about the failures. It's also about learning from it. It's also about connecting with people. It's also about staying in touch and, trying to make a difference in somebody's life in more ways than one. And that's something which I've picked up along the way, and I enjoy this risk of doing it. I enjoy, because at the end of the day, when I sleep well in the night with a smile, I feel happy. And it's always been happening since the time I've started my own company and, doing what I do right now. So it's been fun so far.
Excellent. So was there any particular trigger that made you leave the corporate world, and you just decided one fine day that, okay, this is it and I've had enough? Anything in particular which just snapped in you and said that, I'm done with this and I'm going to do my own thing for the rest of my life? So
one is, you get all kinds of bosses. That is one. So I never had a problem with anybody in particular. But, there are sometimes you have to compromise on certain things in life. And you have certain bosses who end up like the boss you have in Family Man season 2. You've seen Family Man season 2.
I am actually seeing it at the moment as we speak. I am seeing it right now. Yes.
You keep saying, don't be the minimum guy. And
don't be the minimum guy. Yes.
You find a lot of minimum guys like this in office. And there was one incident when I was working with Accenture when I think one of the clients wanted goat's milk in the middle of the night. And I was working in transitions, where transition is basically like customer is king, got to do everything for him types.
Right.
Goat's milk in the middle of the night, the customer wanted, and we had to get the goat's milk. I was like, this is not our job. You're working in consulting, you're a consultant and you're getting things done, but this is gone to another level altogether. Right. That hit me hard, that I don't want to do this forever. And I took the decision in my head, but I had to come back and tell the boss at home, which requires convincing, right? So I was able to convince because she understood it very well and she was not happy about it. And then I gave my GMAT. I wanted to give my GMAT and I do my MBA. Then I've done my MBA from Symbios, but I thought, let me do my MBA from INSEAD. INSEAD was very popular at that point. It still is. Right. They had two offices, one in Singapore and one in Paris. And I quite like this. That's why I love Paris.
I love Paris, yeah.
Yeah, I love Paris. And eventually I got a good score. I got a score of 780 out of 1,000, which is very good.
Oh, wow, which is phenomenal, which is really good, yeah.
My verbal is very good, but my mathematics sucks. And I got a good score, but I ended up joining a radio station. And I interned with the radio station. I produced shows in the morning, afternoon, evening, and worked with all kinds of radio jockeys. Prithvi, Rakesh, all
Oh,
the big names
nice.
you could think of.
Okay.
Darayas Sunawala, he was very sweet. I felt Darayas. Prithvi was very sporting, nice guy to work with. So in the radio station also, you find people are like how you have in the corporate culture. You have it everywhere. So
Of
everybody
course.
is ultimately working in a cubicle, right? But I found this atmosphere of actually going out and interacting with live people more interesting. And that's where I really had a good time, talking to people face to face and asking them questions, because I'm very curious by nature. And and that curiosity somewhere, got the best out of me, I believe. And that's what really mattered. I think that's been my turning point per se.
Wow, fantastic. So, when was it that you left the corporate world and you got into your own thing?
I think 6 years back, 5 to 6 years
Oh,
back.
wow. Okay, fantastic. Now, Shekhar, I was reading about you that you have been through a transformational weight
Oh,
loss
yeah.
journey, which has become so inspirational that one of the Bollywood production houses is actually planning to make a movie on it.
Yeah.
So I want to know about this weight loss transformational journey of yours and take some tips from it too.
So one is, I was weighing around 130 kilos at one point of time, and I was watching this India-Pakistan game, and then suddenly the chair which I was sitting on broke, and behind that was a glass case, and that's when it
Oh,
hits you hard. So when
oh
you're
my
really
God.
overweight, it does not hit you hard until it hits you hard. The whole world will tell you a lot of things, but until
Right.
it hits you, personally, you will not make much of a difference to it. And that's when I started realizing, boss, as a hoga nahi life mein, I want to live longer. So I started walking first. I walked 2 kilometers in like 1 hour. Then I made it 4 kilometers in 1 hour. Then in half an hour, I should do 10 kilometers. I should run 10 kilometers. I did 38. In 38 minutes, I ran 15 kilometers. 10 or
Wow.
sorry, I'm saying about 10 kilometers, which is still good in 38 minutes. Like you're talking about somebody like a Kenyan runner who runs at that speed.
Yeah, yeah. I can't. I mean, I used to run at one point of time, and I don't ever remember doing, that quickly. 10 kilometers. I would take about an hour, 10 minutes, 5 minutes to do it.
And if it's raining, so I would use the stairs. So I realized that you can actually do very simple things. So during this lockdown, like example, you cannot step out because of the lockdown. I stay in the sixth floor, so I go up and down the stairs like 45 minutes every day in the morning, 45 minutes in the night, and I think that's the best way to lose weight. I also do a plank every half an hour.
Wow.
So
Even now, you do
yeah,
it
I do
every half
plank
an hour.
every half an hour. So if I'm
Wow.
doing a show, I'll somehow get that activity in with the guest.
Oh,
So I was doing
fantastic.
a
Wow.
launch with Mandira Bedi, and Mandira Bedi, I was supposed to introduce her and get into a conversation with her. This was at Koromangala in one of the bookstores. So she heard me because I was making somebody else do a plank. So she said, Shekhar, let's do a plank together. She thought I will say no and all that. I did a plank with her and I introduced her while doing the plank. So she was
Wow.
totally blown that this guy could do a plank and actually walk the talk or do the plank along with her. So plank has
Amazing.
been something which I like doing. I also avoid. I don't drink anyway. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I avoid fried food. I also avoid everything white. So no salt, no sugar. I've not had salt, sugar for the last 1 year. I don't know what the taste of salt is, what the taste of sugar is. I've not had it at all. Uh, if I ever feel like eating something, it has to be grilled chicken. And I'm a chef's nightmare. If I go to a hotel, trust me, nobody will come and serve me. They'll abuse me from there because I ask a lot of questions and I feel, I realized that you need to respect your body. You have to treat your body like your best friend because the body is only one is going to remain with you theoretically.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Make the most of it, and somewhere it's worked because I'm not gone to a gym. I've just been running. I've been doing a plank. I've been eating right, and yeah, I've just been very clear about what I want, and I've been going at it like a horse with blinders. I believe a lot of discipline. Main thing is discipline.
Discipline. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I struggle a lot with discipline, and I struggle a lot because I'm a real foodie, and my husband is a lot into his fitness. So I really try very hard. I've been trying for years, and hopefully someday I shall get there. So Shekhar, tell me now, you do so much. How and when do you get the time to do so much? You have written a book. You are in the process of writing a book as well. You are a motivational speaker. Recently, you have become a NLP coach as
Yeah.
well. And I know you host a lot of shows. We'll be coming back to your TV bit later. But how do you get the time to do so much? You're a stand-up comedian, you're a motivational speaker, like you just said, a radio jockey. You also recently started a company of your own, an entertainment company. So how does it all work? How do you get the time to do so much
See,
in 24 hours?
I think we are living in a world where we've got to make the most of our talent or whatever little we have, right? That's what I believe. And somewhere I believe my strength is my communication. That is, I can read, write, and I can write also well. I'm also a writer and I write columns also.
Excellent.
Uh,
Wow.
and I also believe all this, what you're talking about, is under the realm of communication. Now it's about whether when you like something so much, you will always take time out for it.
That's
So
true.
for example, I did a show last evening on Twitter. This was on a book called Modi Stole My Mask. And
Ah,
it is a different ball game altogether because Twitter is very political, right? And Facebook is more yuppie or Instagram is more photos. But Twitter is
yes.
a different ball game. And I got these two authors and I moderated this discussion and it went on for almost 2 hours. I didn't sleep till 4 in the morning because I was so high because I did a great job and I loved it. We got around 70 people to get in on the show and around 15 of them asked questions. This is an online, it's not even a video thing, it's an audio thing. So Twitter's got this thing called Twitter Spaces, just like Clubhouse. Only
Okay.
thing is you ask questions and you moderate a discussion, and it's almost like a live book show. Only thing you don't have people sitting in front of you. It's all
Sitting in
audio.
front of you. It's audio, like a
And
podcast.
yeah, like a podcast. And people from all parts of the world were jogging. And somebody came in from San Francisco, somebody was in Vizag, somebody was in Bangalore, Delhi, Ludhiana, the works. Now that's an example of what I do. And for something like
Wow.
this, I would prepare like an hour in advance. I would have a script in my head, but it's always been very spontaneous. Uh, in spite of what people think, I just whatever comes to my head, I speak, and it always turns out right because I read a lot. Uh, and I think I'm blessed with being very spontaneous. I'm able to, I don't know, I've got good presence of mind. You know better because you were in the airline industry and we deal with all kinds of guests
All
and
kinds
ask
of
all kinds
people.
of ridiculous
Absolutely.
questions, right? Same way as
Yeah.
a presenter also, you've got to be ready for any situation that comes in front of you. And sense of humor really works. And when I'm saying sense of humor, it's about deprecating sense of humor, where you can make fun of yourself. So
Yeah,
people
that's
like that.
important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And people don't get sarcasm also at times. So then you use it on yourself so people understand it. I think that's very important. But essentially, it is about loving what you do and doing what you love. When you love what you do and do what you love, you will do anything and everything to make it happen. You will do it because for me, it's never been a job. Starting my company is something which I always want to do because I want to influence people, impact people with what I do because I believe I have that ability. I
Mhm.
connect very well with children and like I'm
I was
connecting
actually going to
with
ask
yeah.
you that because I read that you have this thing called Kids Chopal,
Oh
where
yes.
you connect very well with kids. So what is that all about?
So, so there's a course which I curate called the Success Mindset course. Now, the Success
Mm-hmm.
Mindset course looks at certain specific soft aspects of success. So, we have all been brought up and conditioned to believe that you got to become first. And I believe in this philosophy that you don't win the silver, you lose the gold. I believe that you need to also think about the person who's come second, person who's come third, person who's come fourth. It's not always about coming first, which matters. So what I do is I get these kids in a call, and it's we do various situations. It's not about gyan bazi at all. It's about the softer aspects, which talks about how important is body language. What are the kind of words you must use? Don't end up sounding like Shashi Tharoor. Uh, it's simple actually, and
Yeah.
things like storytelling. Why is storytelling so important? How do you get emotions in your story? Like if somebody has to listen to you, there should be an impact which you can create. So I tell them tips and tricks around it. I talk to them about having gratitude. Why being kind is a strength in today's day and age because of what we've gone through because of the pandemic. I talk about various things and I talk to them as I would talk to a friend. So I don't treat them like somebody who's 10 years old and somebody's 20 years old. For me, they're like they call me sir initially, but then it comes down to Shekhar after some time. Then it comes down to shakes. So I know that I've killed that ice, whatever ice is there. And Sunshine is an inherent factor in all this. So she's a part of the shows. These are around 7 classes we have, and I cover all these aspects. I also get the parents involved. In the last class, I actually got the parents to sit in with the children and do an activity called Stop, Start, Continue. So where say for example, daughter sits with the mother. The daughter tells the mother, "These are the things you should stop. These are the things you should start. These are the things you should continue.
Continue.
Stop
Wow.
making karela ka juice. Start making tinda, and continue watching Saas Bahu serials, for example." So it's really funny because it
That
puts.
sounds a lot of fun.
Yeah, and parents are like very happy because you made us connect with our children again. Sundays have become fun again, and somewhere you're also making parents realize that you don't need to put so much of pressure on children. Children also need to realize that parents are also chill. They're also cool like they are, and
Cool.
so
Yeah.
fun. So that's the impact I try to create, which I'm doing now with
Awesome.
during this pandemic. So it's been fun so far.
Brilliant. Wow. So, Shekhar, you're also a TV panelist for a lot of channels. You've come on so many shows. Even during the pandemic time, we've been coming. I've been seeing personally, you've been coming on lots of TV shows. So how did that happen? How did you become a TV panelist for so many? And you're so well-versed with so many different topics. How did that happen? How did that come into being?
So I think I always was a voracious reader. I used to read a lot, of course. And I feel we all should understand what's happening in our country and outside, and don't go by what you read in the paper or in the media. And somewhere I also believe I stand for the right thing. I more often than not, I look at things positively. Even during this pandemic, I believe India has done reasonably well. Yesterday was 1 year of Sushant Singh Rajput's death.
Yes, of
And
course.
I fought a lot for him. I came on TV and fought a lot for Sushant Singh Rajput. And even now the investigation is going on. Not just me, but a lot of other people also fought for it. I think somewhere when you fight for something which is right, people will stand with you. And I've got messages from places as far as Japan, New Zealand, that we've heard you speak on, not just on Sushant Singh Rajput. I talk on politics, I talk on leadership, I talk on development, I talk on environment, I talk on all the things that matter. Recently, I spoke about the Madras High Court giving a judgment around the same-sex couple. This is the Pride Month, and I made a very interesting, astute observation around it, where I said that if India needs to be an inclusive country, everybody needs to think about it in the same manner. And so I think that's the way I look at things. I look at things from a larger perspective. And somewhere with the TV coming in and TV channels coming in, I also write columns also because I feel the pen is mightier than the sword, and I really believe in it. So somewhere this has given me an outlet for all my energy and for what I champion and spearhead in terms of environment, politics, and I enjoy this moment, because when you're on TV, you need to have good presence of mind, because you cannot be political. You got to be apolitical.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
You got to make sense that the interviewer should ask you questions again. ऐसा नहीं कि एक बार बुला लिया उसके बाद बुलाएगा नहीं, because यार इसको सुन के कुछ फायदा नहीं है. Like the TV channels also very smart. They will get you in because this guy can talk sense. Otherwise they will not get you in again.
Otherwise they won't get you back. Yeah.
It's fun. I enjoy that. I enjoy that breakneck environment of TV. Where everything is happening fast and you're getting live and people see you. And people have messaged me, and in this pandemic, post-pandemic world, many of them have contacted me and said, we love what you do on TV, and you should join politics very soon. We need leaders like you and all that. But that's how it is.
I won't be surprised, Shekhar, with all that you do. That's another feather added to the cap. I won't be surprised if that happens soon too as well. So, Shekhar, one more thing. Now that you said India's done very well compared to a lot of other countries during this pandemic, what advice would you like to give to people, considering we still aren't really out of it? We're still hopefully at the fag end of it. So, what is your advice to people as to how to deal with this situation at the moment?
First thing is watch this video. That's most important. This video's got all the information.
Yes, very important.
Second thing is, I think, everybody nowadays, we're living in a world where everybody puts stuff out there on WhatsApp, which is not necessarily true. Everybody, somewhere, I think it's born out of the tendency that kisi ko pehla hona hai. Somebody has to give that information out. Pata nahi right or wrong, usko farak nahi padta.
But yeah, I gave it out first.
Yeah, I gave it out first. And somewhere, I think that's where the vaccine hesitancy came in, where people said that, this is a Modi vaccine, I won't use this vaccine because Modi hai, all that rubbish. But at the end of the day, vaccine can only save your life. That goes without saying. Vaccine can only save your life. Masking up can only save your life. If you don't vaccinate, if you don't mask up, we'll be forever doing this, sitting at home and doing calls like this. So we have to step out because we're human beings. And the only ones who are happy because of this are animals. So because this is more of us.
Yes, absolutely.
I think it's very important not to listen to each and everything which you see on WhatsApp. Because WhatsApp is like free internet. Anyone and everyone puts out anything out there, and people get swayed by that and believe that this is the ghar ka nuska on how you can avoid COVID-19. There's no way to avoid it. But also understand the truth, the larger reason behind it. Because I think there are so many other issues we're dealing with, right? And I think India is a large country. We've got to give India that. It's India is many things rolled into one. And the problem is because of in India, what happens is, I've seen, like, for example, I've seen death up and close with my daughter when she passed away like a few years back. At that point of time, when you have a death in your family, you're very hurt, and you want to pin the blame on somebody. Like, you could blame it on God, you could blame it on the doctors. There's a lot of restlessness within you, a lot of hurt. Same thing we see right now. A lot of people have lost their family members because of COVID. What they do is they start blaming the prime minister. Okay, prime minister may be at fault, but yeah, everything prime minister cannot handle, right?
It's a huge.
And you know better. Like, it's a huge. India is a huge country. So many languages,
Absolutely,
so many religions. So somewhere, you need to have the balance to understand that instead of blaming the situation, let's just understand that the whole world is crippled by this, not just India, and the whole world is suffering. And,
absolutely, yeah.
And it's a tough situation, but we will get out of it if we just vaccinate and maintain social distancing, and also understand that business is not going to be the same again. Life has changed completely for everybody. And the only people who will get out of this are the people who are smart, are the people who understand how business really works, are the people who are creative. And that's
creative. Yeah. Absolutely. So agree with you on this. And we must get vaccinated so that we can travel, because if you don't get vaccinated, you will not be able to travel to Paris, London, all the places.
Correct.
You need to get vaccinated.
Shirt पहन के घूमेंगे फिर.
बिल्कुल, shirt पहन के dream करते रहेंगे. So Shekhar, we cannot end this show without bringing Sunshine on. So I really want everyone to meet Sunshine, the love of your life, besides your wife, of course, because I've heard so much about Sunshine. So Sunshine has to be a part of this.
Yeah, we'll get Sunshine.
Hello, Sunshine. Oh, she's beautiful. She's gorgeous. I love the way you bring Sunshine into all your talks and everything. Sunshine is always a part of it. It's so beautiful that she's got such a loving and such a beautiful family and home like yours.
Oh yeah, because see, I if I have to look at it practically, there's a lot to learn from animals. I feel animals, especially the single-minded focus, and you know better because you also have a dog.
Yes.
The focus dogs have towards their food and our food is something else altogether. Unka khana khatam ho, they're looking at your food. When I tell Sunshine, boss, when you're eating your food, I don't look at your food like that. That you look at food. You should not get so taken. So, but it's fun to be with them because I think they understand your emotions well. They're very focused in what they do. Once they get a bone, oh my God, nothing distracts them. So that's something.
And extremely loyal. Extremely loyal.
Extremely trusting also. They trust you with life.
Yeah.
Which human beings don't. So I think that's what I love about Sunshine. So there's a book also coming out on her. Let's hope in the next few months. Which I'm
wow, you're writing a book on Sunshine as well?
Sunshine's perspective on the pandemic.
Amazing. Wow. Fantastic. Great. So thank you so much, Shekhar. It was so lovely to connect with you. I would say virtually. We still haven't met in person, but so lovely to connect with you virtually and so lovely to get to know you so much better. And I can't wait for this lockdown to finish so that we can actually meet up in person and connect on a one-on-one level as well.
Thank you, Bia. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and there's so much of fun. And I can tell you this, in this show, I've been smiling all throughout. I've just gone with the flow, and that's all because of you, because you've made the show like this. So more power to you, and hopefully you travel sooner or later back to England and have fun where you are, because I think we all need to do that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shekhar.